everybody, to Illuminate, Navigate, Radiate. I'm your host, Brandon. Got Michael joining us again today. How you doing, Michael?
Doing great. Always a pleasure to be here. Appreciate you.
Oh yeah, man. Love having you. And today we're excited because it is March 1st and we are kicking off our March series, which is going to be 5 different wellness challenges. Today is going to be this week is going to be a gratitude challenge. Where we are going to challenge you in practicing gratitude in a couple of different ways. So just to kind of introduce that concept and introduce different ways we can look at it. What can be some things you're grateful for, Michael?
Yeah, good question. I know sometimes we take a lot of stuff that we're grateful for granted, but for me, really just kind of having that bed that I wake up to every day, knowing that I got a roof over my head, access to food in the morning for breakfast, just knowing that some of the things that I have access to are really some of the things I'm the most grateful for personally.
Yeah, and I can agree with some of those small things, right? There's definitely been moments in my life where, I've slept outside. So waking up in a bed in a house with the heat on during the winter months can be a lot more relaxing than just kind of panicking, waking up, thinking about where am I, you know, where am I going that day? What am I going to do when I get up? And just having that peace of mind, right? That almost that sense of calm when you wake up, when you can wake up in a situation like that. And sometimes we don't have that though. And when we don't have that, another thing, just when we do wake up is we can be grateful that we're just alive that day. We can be grateful that we just woke up that day. So besides some of those, those things that we may have in our life at different moments, um, getting to wake up again can be a really rare thing. The chances of us being here on this day, on this earth, at this time period are so rare that appreciating that fact and appreciating that moment is something, appreciating that it is something really special that we get to experience today, at least for one more day.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's not always thought about in that light, but I know that every day that we wake up is another day that we have a chance to do good or do better than we did the day before. And, just being grateful for life in general can sometimes be the difference between how you feel in terms of feeling good or bad. So I know that for me, being able to have that sense of appreciation has really went a long way for me, especially in times when maybe I wasn't really grateful for much or I didn't think I had much going in my life. That really helped bring out some of that positivity that maybe I was lacking.
Yeah, and thinking about some of those small things, or just a little intro to some things we can be grateful for. Let's kind of backtrack a little bit and just how would you define gratitude? If somebody came up to you and said, "Hey, Michael, what is gratitude?" How would you express that to them?
Yeah, no, great question. Sometimes not the easiest to answer because it could be different for everyone. But I know for me, I think really, knowing the things that I have and, that type of, I guess, being in a good situation, knowing that the things that I have or that I have access to are, what allow me to be happy and have, the things in my life that help make my life go. And I guess to answer the question more directly, just knowing or focusing on what I do have and not focusing on what I don't have is really how I would express gratitude because a lot of people don't have even some of the things that I have, even if what you have isn't that much.
Yeah, and I agree 100%. Expressing gratitude or thinking about gratitude is really just appreciating what we have in life in that moment. Again, I've been through times where I didn't have certain things that made my life easier, things that maybe I had at one point that I ended up losing. I know you've experienced some of that as well. And so when we can look at that and appreciate what we have and take full advantage of that, right? Take advantage of those opportunities that are sitting right there in front of us. Because there's so many things in life that tell us, hey, if you get this product, your life is going to be easier. If you buy this shampoo, everybody's going to want you. If you buy this car, then you're going to be living the life of luxury, whatever it may be. We get sold on all these things that tell us, hey, you will be a happier person if you try and get this. When a lot of the times we have that stuff right in front of us. We have that stuff that is going to make us that happier person or is going to make us feel more successful in that day. And so when we can intentionally take that energy and focus on, okay, this is what I have today. How can I make the most of that? How can I use this stuff today to make me the happiest me I can be, or the most successful me that I can be going into and tackling this opportunity? And one way we want to challenge you to practice that is just being intentional about thinking about that stuff. So I know one way that I approach it is, waking up and thinking about those things that I'm grateful for. I'm big on gratitude, so I do think about it a lot. And so when I wake up, being intentional, okay, hey, I got to wake up again. Hey, I get to wake my kids up and get them ready for school. I get to, have a sense of calm because I'm not out chasing a bag, or I'm not out thinking about how I'm going to, figure out my day, where I just know, hey, okay, I'm going to get the kids ready, or I'm going to wake up, get myself ready, then go to work, and then come home. And I'm grateful that I have that structure in those opportunities in my life. So one way I want to challenge you is to, make that gratitude list right when you wake up. Think about those things, maybe those small things, maybe those big things, but intentionally either think about them, write them down, say them out loud, because there's that power when we say it out loud. But that's one way I want to push you to do that, is that gratitude list right when you wake up. And I know Michael has the other side of that approach as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want to start every day off right, but I think a key point to that is also ending every day off right too. So by writing down or saying out loud as a good example, because there's power in those expressed words, but being meaningful with what you are grateful for, and writing one or two things down before you go to bed and in the morning, because every day that you start positive and end positive, after a few days of that in a row, you're going to see that positivity come out a little bit more than it was before. And ultimately, I think the goal is really to just help bring out more of that for everybody, even if it's just a little bit. But by focusing on that type of action specific to whether it's writing it down or saying it out loud morning and night, starting off with that positivity can really help kind of weed out some of that negativity that we might not even realize is in our lives.
Yeah, and I think I really like what you said there with just hitting that nail on the head with positivity, 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 because that's what gratitude does. Is it brings that positivity to our life. It changes our mindset, our perspective, our outlook, and really challenges us to focus on those good things.
100% agree. I know that when it comes to positivity, it can have a big impact on your mindset and how you approach life. And even if it's just that day, it can mean the world of difference between having a good day or having a bad day and starting that day off. And I think the biggest thing for me in my life is that it's really helped me make sure that if I'm not maybe doing great, or I'm not in the best light, just starting my day off like that can make a world of difference.
Yeah, and that's one part of our challenge is to challenge you to think about some of those small things that you're grateful for. Be intentional about it. Put those in the comments down below. Share some of those things that you can be grateful for today. In that way, maybe it'll inspire other people to concentrate on those things, or give other people that hope, and just sharing that attitude of gratitude as we go. But the second part of it is we want to challenge you to intentionally express that towards somebody that means something to you, somebody that's had an impact on you, somebody that's been there for you. We want to challenge you to pick that person out and share that with them. Whether it's a family member, a friend, a mentor, a teacher, a coach, whoever it may be. We want to push you to send them a text, write them a letter, call them up, go up to their face and say, hey, I really appreciate what you've done, the impact you've had, the fact that you were there for me when I was down, whatever it may be, and there can be a lot of power in that. So kind of going back over to you, Michael, when you share that gratitude with somebody and you tell them how much you appreciate them, what does it do for you? Even though you're the one telling that other person how much they mean, what does that do for you in a sense of feeling or emotion behind it?
Yeah, great question. And for me, it usually provides a great sense of just happiness. I really feel like it radiates positive energy. And for me especially, I know I've had a lot of people in my life that have had a big impact for me, and I am extremely grateful for. And for me, expressing that gratitude, I feel like they deserve that as well. And not, I want to make sure that they also feel that same type of positive energy by expressing that to them, because, I want them to know that I wouldn't be here without them. And I know specifically, most people can be their parents. For me, it was a big influence, my parents, some of my friends. But yeah, knowing that they get the credit they deserve is what really makes me feel the best, because I know that they were a big part of how I developed into who I am. And while I make my own decisions, they helped guide me to be the person that I can to make those decisions. And that's really what makes me feel the best, knowing that, yeah, I feel good expressing that gratitude, but I also hope that they feel good as well receiving that gratitude.
Yeah, and 100%. They, anytime, you've experienced somebody coming up to you or somebody reaching out to you for no reason at all, just to say, hey, I appreciate you, I love you, I miss you, whatever it may be. When you have somebody do that, it feels so good. I know I've had, one or two former players or one or two parents from coaching reach out and say something, really positive to me, and it's just given me so much belief in myself, and such a positive reaction, that's why I really like this challenge, is because not only can it have an impact on whoever you're expressing that to, but when you say those things and when you truly mean them, um, that can have such an impact on your own mindset. That can make you a happier person when you express those feelings, because we don't do it all the time. You think about your parents, you think about your loved ones, you think about your best friends, or that teacher that had a huge impact on you. How many times you actually go up to them and just tell them, like, hey, I love you, I'm grateful for you, this is what you've done for me, this is what it's meant to be, and this is what I want to express to you. We don't do that all the time. I know, as big as gratitude as I'm on, I don't do it all the time to the people I'm close to. I try to be really intentional with, like, people I just met, or opportunities that just came my way. I always express my gratitude afterwards, and thank them for their time, thank them for their conversation, or the gift that they gave me, the opportunity that they gave me. But I know we don't always express that to people that are the closest to us. And I think when we do that, it can change that relationship a little bit more. It can show the power behind, like, oh, maybe you did something small for me and you didn't think anything of it. But then when I can tell you what that small thing meant, that can be a really powerful moment between the two of us. What are your thoughts on just what that can do for you?
Yeah, 100% agree. And for me, I know that, especially I'll even, with my fiance specifically, the kids we have, I know that, when we have the that type of compassion, we express the gratitude and we're grateful for the things that we have in our life. Oftentimes, that positive energy that it creates actually helps eliminate a lot of the negative energy that maybe we don't realize we have in our lives. And I'm big into energy flowing in and out. Our bodies can send and receive energy all throughout the day. And for me, the biggest thing that helps me keep as positive an outlook I have on life is knowing that when we're expressing that gratitude and, out meaningfully doing it, whether it's in person or over the phone, it just really creates that positive environment. And for me, kind of sheds all that negativity out, and that can really change your life. And it has for me.
Yeah, and that's why I really like this challenge. I know Michael really likes this challenge of, pushing you to express that gratitude, because it is going to force some of those negative feelings away from you. You're gonna focus on those things you have right now. You're gonna focus on those people you have right now, and that's where your energy, your thoughts, your emotions are gonna go, and that does nothing but bring us up. It's really hard to be in a bad mood. It's really hard to be frustrated or upset or angry, or any other negative emotion, when you're sitting there focused on those things right in front of you and how much they mean to you. Whether it is that bed, your phone, your car, your house, your food in your refrigerator, the food in the cabinets, your kids, your spouse, your parents, your siblings, whatever it may be. When you're focused on that, it's going to bring so much positive energy to you. And this is why I wanted to kick off March with this challenge, because I think gratitude can be a really powerful thing. And we're challenging you to do that. We're challenging you to make that list. Try to do it once a day. Try to pick out one thing a day that you're grateful for and write it down, whether it's in the morning, afternoon, or night. And then we're also challenging you to pick out those people in your life, right? And tell them in different ways, however you want to express that, however you want to do that. Pick out those people and tell them. Tell them what they mean to you. Be intentional about that and take the time to do that and push for that. And that can bring so much positivity to your day. And as Michael said earlier, you do it a couple days in a row. That can be a game changer for that week, that month, that even that year.
100%. I mean, just I think everybody will take stuff for granted, and that's natural for us. But I think that having that plan, an actual intention to express it to, I guess one person every day this week coming up, 7 different people or 7 different things that you were extremely grateful for that you can express that to in an impactful way where it's not just saying, "Hey, I'm grateful for you, but I need this." No, I'm just grateful for you for what you've done for me or to help me get to where I'm at, or I'm grateful for, this bed that I've worked so hard for, this food that I've put my effort into, and I'm happy that I can provide for my family. Express that and, comment each day what you're looking to express and, help the community grow. We want everybody to be happy about everything that they express in terms of gratitude. We want you to share your story with us as well. If you have one, just, be meaningful with who you're, expressing it to. And at the same time, be excited about it. Don't feel like it's something you have to do if you don't want to do it, of course, but let's get excited about bringing this positivity to everybody's life, because the bigger the community, the happier everybody can be and everybody can grow with each other. I think that could be very powerful for anybody that's needing a little bit of a pick me up, if you will.
Yeah, and don't keep it all to yourself. Share it in the comments. What are you grateful for? Who are you grateful for? And maybe it's not just a person, or maybe it's not just a thing, but maybe it's a little story about something that a way somebody had an impact on you, and sharing that below. Or maybe it was somebody coming up to you and telling you how grateful they are for you. Share that below as well. Like Michael was just saying, we want to make that community feel to it. Bring that positive energy and spread that to everybody, involved, participating, joining in. So, as much as you want, like Michael said, every day, throw a comment on there, something you're grateful for. Wake up, throw a comment on there. Before you go to bed, throw a comment on there and share that with everybody else. Because I know there's some days where I'm like, what am I grateful for? I had this bad day. I had this hard day. What am I grateful for? And then when I see other people sharing and other people expressing that, it's like, oh yeah, I do, I can relate to that. I can relate to that. And so we want to bring that positivity. And like Michael said, we want to be excited about it going into this first challenge of the month.
Absolutely. I think that everybody can, have something to bring to the table, and everybody has something they want to share. Maybe you have to think a little bit more about it. If it takes a few minutes or a little longer to figure out what you are grateful for, it may be the most impactful for you specifically if you just haven't had that type of approach to being grateful and just taking things for granted. So yeah, let's get excited about this. Everybody join in. Feel free to, share everything that you want to. We want to make this blow up and have everybody have a great time with it, because the more people that share, the more people that can be affected in a positive way, the more people that may get a great experience and maybe just take one thing away from it that helps them out in their everyday life.
Yeah. So what are you grateful for? Who are you grateful for? What is a experience with gratitude that you want to share with us and everybody else listening and watching? Drop that below. Hit that subscribe button somewhere down there or over there. And join us in this, and make sure you come back next week for our next wellness challenge. Go check out the Instagram. That's where we're gonna post those things coming up each week, so that way you know what's coming, you don't miss on it. Maybe you can jump on it a little bit early and start getting some practice with it as well. But again, thanks for joining us. We're looking forward to seeing what you are grateful for. So this has been Illuminate, Navigate, Radiate. Have a great rest of your day.